Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Major WWE news broke earlier today. According to reports, a new brand will soon arrive. The sports entertainment juggernaut is allegedly set to introduce NXT Europe at some point this year. This is big news as the brand will join Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Evolve, and Triple as part of the WWE and TKO family of shows. To make the launch as successful as possible, Triple H could shock the world and remove former World Heavyweight Champion Gunther from the red brand in favor of the new product. There is a chance the game could decide to pivot Gunther from Raw to NXT Europe. There are several reasons why this move makes sense. First and foremost, Gunther is the company's most popular European star. If they want NXT Europe to be a hit, they need stars on the show. Beyond that, Gunther has been part of the main roster for 3 years and has battled most WWE superstars. He is already a former world champion and intercontinental champion. NXT Europe would offer a new venture for the ring general. Of course, this move would likely be temporary. Gunther is too big a star to keep on a smaller brand long-term. Still, a few months or even 6 months on NXT Europe could get the brand off to a strong start. The reveal of NXT Europe is huge and shocking news. It is so surprising because the concept isn't brand new. On the contrary, the idea has been floated around for quite some time. That, in and of itself, is why the news is so surprising. WWE first announced its plans to create NXT Europe almost 3 years ago, in 2022, right after Triple H took over the company's creative direction. The announcement of NXT Europe coincided with the end of NXT UK. The British brand launched a few years before the pandemic hit, but it suffered a big blow and lost almost all of its momentum during the COVID-19 related lockdown. While the NXT Europe news was exciting and promised a new start for WWE in the region, it never materialized. Years later, it seems like the brand will finally arrive. Which stars will be part of this brand isn't known yet, nor is it clear when Triple H will announce its arrival. Regardless, this is a big story to keep an eye on. Ken has been a fan of professional wrestling for as far back as he can remember, long before covering the industry became his profession. The WWE universe is buzzing, and speculation is once again rampant backstage in Stamford and among fans worldwide. Following huge WWE news involving backstage changes, possible brand overhauls, and rising tensions among top-tier talent, rumors are swirling that Triple H, in his role as Chief Content Officer, could be preparing to make one of his most dramatic moves yet, removing a former World Heavyweight Champion from the Raw roster. While nothing is confirmed, the possibility has fans and insiders alike dissecting every hint, promo, and tweet for clues. Is this the beginning of a major Raw reset, or simply the next chapter in an evolving power struggle behind the curtain? Let's break down the facts, examine the implications, and analyze just who could be on the chopping block, and why. Over the past year, Triple H has steadily been solidifying his control over WWE's creative direction, particularly in the wake of Vince McMahon's reduced presence and mounting legal troubles. While WWE's parent company TKO Group Holdings continues to oversee broader strategic goals, the day-to-day booking and talent development have firmly become the game's domain. Recent reports from trusted insiders like Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer have hinted at growing dissatisfaction within the locker room, with some veterans feeling left behind as Triple H pushes newer, fresher faces up the card. The emphasis on in-ring performance, long-term storytelling, and NXT alumni is apparent, and not everyone is thriving under this new regime. The rumors now suggest that a major shakeup is on the horizon, and Triple H is considering removing a former World Heavyweight Champion from Raw altogether. Whether this is part of a draft trade, a move to SmackDown, a demotion to part-time status, or even a release remains to be seen. Let's examine some of the most likely candidates and why Triple H might be considering this dramatic step. Drew McIntyre has been vocal about his creative frustrations in recent months. Despite playing a major role during the pandemic era and carrying WWE through some of its toughest times, Drew has found himself in a creatively stagnant position. While still heavily featured, his title pursuits have come up short repeatedly, and there's speculation that his contract may be nearing its end. Could Triple H be preparing to write McIntyre off TV entirely? Perhaps a shocking betrayal angle, or even a scripted firing, could pave the way for a hiatus, or a move to SmackDown. If negotiations are ongoing, removing him from Raw might be a way to de-emphasize him ahead of a possible departure or repackage. Yes, Seth Rollins is still one of WWE's most prominent superstars, but his time with the World Heavyweight Championship has come and gone. With the rise of newer main eventers like Gunther, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes, some insiders suggest Triple H may be shifting the brand's focus to a fresher era. While removing Seth from Raw seems drastic, it's not impossible. A move to SmackDown, or even a temporary hiatus due to his ongoing back issues, could be framed as Triple H removing him from Raw's ecosystem. That opens the door for new stars to claim the spotlight Rollins has occupied for years. If Edge were to return full-time, his veteran status could become a creative liability in Triple H's current vision. Triple H has been known to reserve major spots for full-timers or NXT-grown stars who represent the future of the business. Edge's sporadic appearances and expensive contract could make him an easy target for roster trimming or a storyline exit. While Edge is universally respected, the narrative of making room for the next generation fits neatly with a dramatic Triple H-led removal. It would be shocking, emotional, and headline-making. All the hallmarks of good wrestling television. Of course, removal doesn't necessarily mean being fired or released. In the world of WWE, being removed from a brand can mean many things. Draft trade. A surprise switch to SmackDown or NXT could serve as a shakeup and give the superstar in question a creative refresh. Suspension angle. Triple H could appear on-screen to announce a suspension or punishment following an attack or backstage incident, fictional or not. Faction warfare. If the ex-world champion becomes entangled in a faction feud, he might be ousted in a power struggle, removed via a brutal beatdown. Contract expiry. If a deal is up, the superstar may be written off Raw with finality, never to return unless a new deal is reached. In all cases, the term removed can be used both on-screen and behind the scenes as a powerful storytelling device. Triple H is known for long-term planning. If he truly believes that Raw needs a reboot to usher in the next generation of champions and legends, then tough decisions must be made. Removing a former world champion sends a message to fans and talent alike. No one is untouchable. Additionally, it builds anticipation and unpredictability, something WWE has leaned into heavily under Triple H's leadership. Whether it's Cody Rhodes finishing the story, CM Punk returning to WWE, or a new faction rising through the ranks, AKA understands the value of seismic shocks. Cutting ties, or at least removing spotlight, from a big name can clear the way for stars like Ilja Dragunov, Bronson Reed, or even NXT call-ups to claim their place on Raw. With WWE heading into a summer filled with international shows, major feuds, and the slow build toward Survivor Series, now is the perfect time for Triple H to stir the pot. If a former World Heavyweight Champion is indeed on the verge of being removed from Raw, the decision will reverberate far beyond Monday nights. It will impact future title pictures, backstage morale, and the very identity of Raw itself. Triple H has never been afraid to make bold moves. If the rumors are true, Raw may soon be missing a familiar face and gaining an entirely new direction.